And right away, this kid ended up opening another tab on the internet, on the school computer, and he ended up searching up the letters P-O-R. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to a super embarrassing story. Now, today's story is actually something that no one should do. This is a serious warning to everyone out there. Don't do this, because it will not make you a better person, and it may get you in serious trouble. But I remember back when I was in grade 6, basically, one thing that a lot of people were doing was hitting puberty. And hitting puberty is one of those things that I will say is one of the most hardest things to actually go through, because it makes you curious about so many different things. Like, for example, you get more curious about how girls' cherries look, or for example, like, how does the whole devil's tango actually work? And I will say this, me back in grade 6, I wasn't like that, surprisingly. I ended up hitting puberty more in like the grade 7, grade 8 years of my life, and I remember hitting puberty at grade 6 just wasn't a thing for me. So I remember I ended up basically just doing my own thing and focusing on more important things in life, like Call of Duty, making YouTube videos, basically wanting to do more cooler things than pulling girls, which I thought at the time. But going on with the story, I remember basically one time in grade 6, I had this one friend of mine that was, well, I would say a bad influence. I remember this one friend of mine, he was a super bad influence, and I guess it's because, well, I don't know, he says the reason for it was because he has 2 moms, which I don't think that's true, but at the same time, I don't know. He was a really weird kid, and he was just, I guess, always naughty. And I remember one time, there was actually a moment in my grade 6 class where he would actually walk up to a girl in my classroom and pull her skirt down, which was very bad, by the way, but that's a story for a different time. So subscribe if you guys want to hear that. Now, other than him being super naughty, I remember one thing that was really cool about my grade 6 year is that in my classroom, we had 2 computers. Now, every classroom back in my middle school had like a computer basically at the school, and it wasn't just the teacher's computer, like it was a student computer where people could do their projects on. And basically, these computers were only used for like homework purposes. So if we really wanted to go on the internet, you would have to like find like a way to do it where like the computer doesn't detect it. And me, obviously, I knew how to do it because, well, I was a computer kid back then. Like, all I cared about was video games, and I played games on my computer a lot back at home, and I kind of just knew how to do it. But my friend that was super naughty, well, I guess he had different ideas for the computers than using it for homework. Because I remember one time, it was lunchtime, and basically, he ended up looking at me saying, "Yo, Bubba, bro, I have a question. Do you know how to like use the computers like at school, like go to the internet?" Yeah, it's actually really easy. Wait, why? Well, like, bro, I'm gonna be for real with you, man. There's a website I gotta show you. Like, my parents showed me this website, and I can't stop watching it. At this moment, I was really confused on what he was talking about, and I thought this was gonna be like some really cool like YouTube video, for example. Like, I thought he was gonna show me something that was actually considered cool. So I remember me and him, we were like kind of like discussing like how to do it and stuff, but every time I tried to explain to him how to like, you know, go through the school computer to go on the internet, he never understood it. So I remember there was a moment later on that day where basically me and him, we ended up going into our classroom when the classroom was empty. I think the classroom was empty at that moment because a lot of the students ended up actually going to another classroom for a different class, and that gave my teacher a break to go to the teacher's lounge. So I remember when the coast was clear and there was no teachers in the classroom, nothing, basically me and him, we actually ended up basically going onto the school computer, and right as we hopped on it, a teacher walked in and he instantly told us to go to class. Now, I know you guys are thinking, wait a minute, that's not what happened. Trust me, we'll get there, just keep watching. From there, I remember we went to class and he told me how we need to do it at a time where there's no one around, when, like, you know, the coast is totally clear. And the only time that the classroom was actually empty at school at the time was around lunchtime. So he told me, "Yo, Bubba, I gotta show you this video, bro, but we gotta do it in the school computer. So like, I think we should do it like around lunchtime when like there's no one in the room. You understand?" Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, but is the video really like that important? Bro, trust me, you want to watch this, bro. It's gonna change your life. Obviously, like, he was really being over dramatic about this video. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but I will say this, it was something that really did change me, because I remember from there, me and him, as we were talking about this, another one of the students actually ended up walking up to us. Now, this person was a girl, and I will say this, she was one of those sketchy girls where she did not really care about anything. She was more considered, I guess, emo, but can you really be in grade 6 and be considered emo? I don't really know, but she walked up to us and said, "Yo, what are you guys like talking about? It's none of your business." No, it doesn't matter. He just wants to show me a video. I don't know what it is. I remember my friend ends up looking at me saying, "Don't tell her, she's a girl, bro. She won't understand." And right away, this emo girl took major offense to that, and she said, "I just want to say this right now, like, obviously, like, I think I would understand. I'm not dumb, okay? I'm like, you do realize girls mature faster than boys, right?" Honestly, at this time, I don't really know what was going on, but I basically made it clear to everyone what was going on, and I made it clear to her and him that we will do this the next day at lunch, and we'll get it through, and we'll see this video. We all agreed to meet up at lunchtime, and that's what we did. The next day at school came around, and basically all of us, we ended up meeting up at lunchtime outside at the Foursquare game, which, by the way, I love Foursquare. It was one of the funnest games to play back when I was a kid. But basically, all of us, we met there, and we ended up discussing how we're gonna break in. This girl ends up looking at me saying, well, you do realize like the classroom's locked at lunch, right? So like you need a key. And that's when my friend looked at both of us, started smiling and said, oh, I got an idea for taking the key. Don't worry about it. I remember the next day came around and the class before lunchtime came, and basically we need to steal a key from the teacher. But the teacher obviously always holds on to the key. So me and him, we were trying to figure out what's the best way to do it. So I remember my friend the whole time was basically following behind the teacher and trying to grab like his keys from his pocket as he was like in the middle of walking around the classroom, which I mean did not work. And me and this emo girl saw that this plan was not working and this guy was just way too overconfident the day before. And what this emo girl does was actually really insane, where she stood up, walked up to the teacher and said, hey, I have a question. Can I use your key? Like I need to go into like one of the classrooms and like I forgot my like important lady stuff there. So like, can you just give me your damn key? My teacher ended up basically saying, oh yeah, here, just use it and then make sure you come right back with it. Sure, we'll see how that goes. And my teacher ends up handing this girl the key and she leaves. And for the rest of that class, she did not come back. We have no idea where she went. We have no idea where like she disappeared to, but she was gone. So that moment, me knowing that she was like totally gone, I was like kind of like iffy on like what was going on. But then when lunch came around, we all ended up meeting back up at the Foursquare game, and basically she walked up to us with the key in her hand. She said she gave the keys back, but like she kept that one specific key just to make sure we could get into that classroom. So I remember that day we ended up basically walking to the classroom that we were in, and we basically went inside and we instantly hopped on the computer. The things we did just to hop onto a damn school computer was insane. And I will say this, it made no sense why it took that long, but I mean, hey, it's a part of the story, so what can I say? But this is where things get really insane, because I remember I ended up going on the computer and basically I ended up doing this whole thing where we ended up logging into Google Chrome. And when we got into Google, my friend pushes me off the computer, goes on the computer, sits down and searches up the letters P-O-R, and then right away he puts the last letter in, goes on the website of the Devil's Hub. And yeah, I'm not joking, he literally just wanted to show us two girls doing the Devil's Tango. I remember the emo girl was like not shocked about this and she like found it really hot, and then the guy was like freaking out and he's like, bro, like this is what my parents do, bro, like all the time. And I'm just standing there going, what in the world are we watching? Who are these two women? Why are they being filmed doing this? Is this even legal? I will say this, it was a real eye-opener to realize that stuff like that's on the internet, and honestly, my opinion, you guys should be safe on the internet and not be watching those things. But at the same time, what can I say? We all grow up eventually. But also, if you really do want to grow up, fall for more embarrassing stories. Okay, so there's one thing I never let my parents do, and I think all of you guys would not let your parents do this, and that's check my search history. Mom, dad, if you're watching this video, which I know you guys sometimes watch my videos, but sometimes can't bear it because, well, I say a lot of the Devil's Tango. I decided to tell a story about you guys. You guys probably won't remember this, but basically, this story takes back a long time ago, and it all starts off like this. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba, and welcome back to another insane story. So today's story is about basically one of the most embarrassing things that ever happened to me back in middle school. You see, back in middle school in my grade 6 year, I remember that one thing was handed out to us, and that was laptops. You see, for some reason, we had this computer class, and basically we had to take care of this old Dell laptop that really no one cared about. And the thing is about this Dell laptop is that it belonged to the school, so everything was numbered, and basically everything was overanalyzed and always checked overview basically every week. And basically, I remember we always had to hand in our laptops at the end of the week, so we can't have them on the weekends, but during the weekdays, well, we had the laptops accessible to us basically the entire week. That means we would take it home, do our homework on it, and let's just say I wasn't the only one that was planning on going a little overboard with it. Basically, what ended up happening was that one time when I entered inside school, when I first got my laptop for the first week, it was pretty normal. I decided to do one thing that I wasn't allowed to do and download Minecraft on it, since, you know, basically it was like the main trend back when I was in grade 6, and basically played Minecraft and started, you know, just hanging out. But there was another kid in my class who decided to do something a bit more extreme. On the first week of him having their laptop, he decided to take it home and basically ended up searching up, well, I think we all know as the Devil's Hub. And basically, I don't know why he did this. Apparently he came from a broken home, which honestly, I don't even know what that means nowadays. But basically, let's just say he had 2 moms and 3 dads. I don't know. That's what he said and explained to me. And honestly, this was a kid in grade 6, so I can't really know if he was telling the truth or not. Because, well, I don't know. As a kid, you believe almost anything. And yes, if you're in grade 6, I'm calling you a child. You are physically and mentally a child. No brains actually developed until 18 years old. That is a scientific fact. So, yeah. Anyways, going on with the story, though, I remember one time when I was just kind of sitting in my room and chilling on my computer playing Minecraft, my mom ended up walking in on me and saying, oh, like, does the computer just stay with you for the entire week? And I had to explain to her the whole reason why we have computers and stuff, and basically, like, the whole science behind it and how, like, technology is evolving. And honestly, let's be real here. That was, like, back when I was in grade 6. I'm 21 now. Imagine kids nowadays. I think everyone has, like, a MacBook sitting on their bed or even just an iPhone that they're ready to go on the Devil's Hub with. And my mom decided to give me the warning of, remember, Baba June, the internet is a very dangerous place. Very dangerous. Don't ever be associated. Just go in there for what you need and leave. Yeah, little did we know that I was gonna become a YouTuber in like the next like following like what 7 years, but going on from there. I remember basically afterward, I was talking to my mom basically about, you know, like what's so dangerous about the internet and how like, you know, everything is just normal. I don't know. I was basically trying to like, you know, be that smart kid that I was trying to be back then when I was a kid. And basically my mom told me that some kids get curious and things lead to bad places. Little did I know she was right. I remember the next day when I entered school and I had my laptop and everything, my buddy came up to me. That was, well, the broken home sort of kid. At least that's what he said. I'm going off his words here. I'm not actually making fun of him. But basically this weird kid ended up coming up to me and saying, yo, bro, I don't know like how to install Minecraft on my PC. Can you just like trade PCs with me for the day? You know, just asking please. And this was on a Thursday. So remember how I said on the end of the week, our teachers surfed through our computers to make sure we didn't do anything wrong or do something illegal? Yeah. Basically, I ended up telling him, dude, like it's almost the end of the week, bro. I can't give you my laptop because then like, you know, I have to hand it in tomorrow. Bro, please, man. Like, I really need you to do this. Just please do it, man. Just trade laptop with me. My laptop's being weird. Maybe you can fix it. You're smart with computers, aren't you? And he was right. I was actually pretty good with my computer and actually took care of it. Hell, I even installed Minecraft on it, bypassing the firearm software that they put on there so I couldn't download stuff. So I ended up being a nice guy, thinking I was going to be a hero to this guy and saying, sure, man, I'll check what's going on with your laptop. I ended up taking his laptop that day and I ended up taking it home. And when I did, I remember when I opened the laptop and started using it for my homework, I saw a lot of pop-ups. And these were pop-ups of a virus. An actual virus that, well, let's just say were a bunch of cherries popping up on the screen and stuff. I remember I was panicking and freaking out. I'm like, oh my goodness, there's no way he got a Devil's Hub virus. Like, let's just say the security on these laptops were not smart. Okay, I'll tell you that much. So I remember I was panicking and freaking out about this laptop having the Devil's Hub. And I knew the one thing I couldn't do was go to my parents and explain this whole situation because there's no way they're gonna believe me. Like, I'm a grade 6 kid that only played Minecraft and loved my video games. Dude, do they really think like I'm just gonna one day just not be curious about like women? So I decided to put it away and basically pretend I didn't have the laptop. And when my mom came into the room, she saw me using that house computer that we had that basically everyone used and asked me, Bubba, why aren't you using your school computer? You have a computer the school gave you. Why don't you use it? Oh, I handed my computer early is what I told her. And for some reason she believed me, which I mean, I love you, mom. You always believe me in things. But back when I was a kid, oh boy, there's things I have not told you. Actually, you know what? If this video gets 1K likes, I'll do a whole entire video of me explaining to my mom all the things I've done without her knowing. And I don't know if she's comfortable with being on camera, but it'll be kind of funny, I think. Anyways, going on with the story. The next day came along and basically that's when I had to bring the laptop to school. When I brought it to school, I ran up to the kid that gave me the laptop originally and said, bro, I need my laptop back. Then he looked at me and said, no, dude, what do you mean? This is my laptop. And I'm like, dude, that's actually my laptop. Give it back. Like the number is assigned to me. I remember the teacher looked over at us arguing. He's like, kids, quiet. Take a seat. Take a seat. And then basically stood in front of the class and saying, all right, class, so we're going to be going through your laptops. Everyone plug in your computers. And basically, let's get straight to going through overview. Open your history, open your files, and that's all I need to see. Basically, our teacher was going to go through our search history. So I remember I sat down at my desk with this kid's laptop that basically ended up getting a Devil's Hub virus. And let's just say, when I got the laptop that week, I did not actually clear out the search history on it. So I remember I ended up opening the computer, putting it on the desk, and closing as many pop-ups as I can before the teacher came around to my computer desk. And basically started freaking out because these pop-ups wouldn't close fast enough. And one other thing, when I decided to open the kid's search history, yeah, now I can see why this virus was in the computer in the first place. When you search up stuff like midget Devil's Hub or animal Devil's Hub, it's pretty obvious you're gonna get a virus. Hello, people. Like, what? So I remember I freaked out and I'm like, okay, there's no way I can explain this to my teacher. He's not gonna believe me. What am I gonna do? Then the teacher came over to my desk. He came to my desk. He looked inside my computer as he's like over my shoulder, like literally like a freak. And he's looking over and saying, okay, Bubba, you got a lot to explain to do. I remember he looked at me and ended up actually taking my laptop and grabbing me by the shoulder and walking me over to the principal's office. He sat me down with the laptop and said, just wait here for the principal. And I want to say I was waiting there for like 20 minutes. And then I saw my parents come into the office and let's just say they ended up going through the search history as well. My dad was over my shoulder with my mom and they were basically going through everything. And my mom looked at me all like curious because she knew I wouldn't act this way. So I remember my mom looked at me and said, Bubba, did you like mean to search this up? Like, why'd you do it? And my dad told me, Bubba, you have to tell us the truth. The truth will only set you free. I don't know. I guess you heard it from a movie or something, but going on, I remember I looked at them both and I was crying. I was crying like crazy. I'm like, Mom, Dad, this is not my computer. I swear. Like the kid traded it with me because he needed like help with fixing it, but I couldn't fix it. As I was crying though, my mom looked at me and she believed me. And she looked at me and said, can you go to the class and tell me what kid it was? I ended up telling her, yes, I could. And I remember me and her, we both stood up and we walked over to the classroom and I pointed him out exactly. I said, that that kid has my computer. I remember the teacher looked over and said, what is this about? I'm confused. Did you talk to the principal about what happened? And I said, that's the thing, teacher. This wasn't my computer. I remember the teacher walked up to me and said, okay, Bubba, you don't have to lie to your parents. And right as he called me a liar, my dad stepped in and said, hey, don't call my kid a liar. Who are you to tell my kid's a liar? And then that's when my teacher backed off and said, okay, I'm sorry, sir, but that is his computer. He ended up saying, what number is my kid's computer? My teacher walks over back to his desk and he actually says the number. I was assigned computer 97. And then afterwards, I remember I looked over at the computer I had and I looked at the number of it and it was number 94. I remember my teacher walked up back to me and said, no way. What? How'd you get computer 94? That belongs to... And then right then and there, I remember the kid stood up that took my computer originally and bolted out of the classroom so fast because he knew he got caught at this point. I remember the teachers were chasing him down and then the principal ended up stopping him midway through and saw everything that was going on. Basically, we both got sat down and we had to tell the truth of what happened. I basically told him how I installed Minecraft and basically all this stuff because I was just telling the whole truth at that point because as a kid, I don't know, lying's not really my thing, to be honest, and I hate liars. And basically, yeah, he ended up getting in trouble, not being able to use a computer for the rest of the school year. And me, well, I was grounded from Minecraft. Yeah, I couldn't play my favorite game that I literally play every day and you guys watching this channel. Okay, I'm not joking when I say this, but the amount of hackers that are out there nowadays is actually insane. Like, if I could tell you guys how many times I've been threatened to be DDoSed, hacked, or even just get a simple virus on my PC just for being better at a video game than them is a lot. But honestly, the fact that like some of these people can actually do these things and actually manage to hack into your computer and stuff is actually really scary. Like, if you guys don't have a good, like, you know, Windows Defender or like basically virus protector or whatever you call it thing on your PC, you could be basically screwed. So like my advice is definitely like, you know, secure yourself while you can, because like if you want to be honest, like things can get really insane. What is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba and welcome back to another crazy story. So this story actually takes place back in middle school. So back in middle school, I remember I got myself a computer because like, you know, I wanted to become a YouTuber at that time. That was when like my stages of, you know, me wanting to become the next big YouTuber was like a dream of mine. And like, you know, it was like way back then. So back when I was in middle school, like I think the only like YouTubers that were actually like considered relevant those days were like Sky Does Minecraft and like Beijing Canadian, all those guys. Even Deadlocks, which actually surprisingly I got to meet actually, which is really cool. I know Deadlocks. It's actually really weird meeting your childhood heroes. But anyways, like I was saying though, so I remember when I was a kid, I had this laptop and this laptop was the world to me. I remember my dad bought it for me. It was for school and stuff, but at the same time, in reality, I just wanted to play Minecraft on the browser because back then I think Minecraft was still considered on like a website. Like you literally had to search up minecraft.com and like play Minecraft on there, which is really funny actually. But going on from there, I remember like playing like these like online games and stuff. And I'm gonna be honest, like when you're a young kid surfing the internet, you could go into anything. Like parents, if you're watching this, which I really hope you're not, there's a lot of dangerous things on the internet, which you should probably know by now, since, you know, I guess parents nowadays are like my generation, which is really weird. But no, it's seriously like very dangerous to be on the internet, because I remember when I had my laptop, I remember one day I was kind of just, you know, surfing the web, I would say. And I remember I went on this like fake movie website because I wanted to like, you know, watch a movie. If you guys don't know what movie it was funny enough, Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dog Days. If you guys don't know what the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series is, basically it's like my whole entire childhood put together. But basically I didn't want to buy the movie, so I remember I went online to like search for it and stuff, and you know, went to like these like illegal sites and stuff, kind of just scouring it, because like I don't know, when you're a kid and you have the internet right to your fingertips, I guess kids manage to abuse it, either when it comes to like e-bullying, which I call internet bullying, or cyber bullying, I don't know, whatever bullying you want to call it, to literally just, you know, wanking off to anything you can watch. I don't know, but me, I just wanted to watch Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dog Days. So I remember I went on the internet, I looked around, I searched some websites, you know, went here and there, and then I managed to find a website. Now funny enough, the website made me like download the movie. Now I know it's a really bad thing. Never download a movie or download anything from an illegal website unless you know it's legit. But I remember I downloaded the movie Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dog Days, and it was an actual download of the movie. So I remember once I like, you know, saw the MP4 video download, and it was a full hour movie, or hour and a half ish. I remember I got my blankets and stuff, and I was like getting ready to like, you know, basically like cuddle up in my blanket and like basically, you know, sit and watch this amazing Wimpy Kid movie. By the way, I just want to mention real quick, if you guys don't know me enough, you guys would know I actually have a journal, which is funny enough because in the movie Diary of a Wimpy Kid, like that's where I got the idea from, to write a journal of all my middle school events and stuff. And I remember writing this specific story in my journal. So if you guys ever want me to show you the journal in like actual like, you know, IRL form, just, you know, comment it down below, like we want to see the journal, and I'll show you some in-depth insights of it to tell you guys like how these stories are kind of legit actually. But going on, I remember as I was like snuggling on my pillow and watching this movie and basically just started the movie, like literally clicked play on it, I had a pop up on the side of my screen. At first I looked at it and I'm like, who is Amanda wanting to come over? I genuinely didn't know any Amanda other than my mom's best friend. And the fact that I got a notification of it saying Amanda wants to see you, she's 3 miles away. Like, bro, I don't know Amanda 3 miles away. So I remember I closed the pop-up and I basically just, you know, kept watching my movie. But as I kept watching it, for some reason, I remember halfway through the movie, like literally at like the middle halfway point, the whole movie just switched up. It ended up becoming some kind of like Devil's Tango movie. Now, generally at first, I thought this was part of the movie. So I was just kind of like, you know, watching it through because I mean, I wasn't complaining at first, but then I realized that Greg Heffley or the actual like characters in the movie disappeared. Like, that's it. Like, it's gone. Like, no movie. It's gone. So I remember freaking out and kind of panicking because then I started getting like more pop-ups over time. And I was actually like considerably worried. And I'm going to be honest, telling my parents that I got a virus in my computer to go fix it was not the easiest thing to do. So I remember I ended up closing my laptop. I ended up throwing it under my bed and basically saying I lost it. I remember the next day I was supposed to go to school and stuff with my laptop and basically playing this like Minecraft event me and my friends do once in a while. And I remember when I got to the cafeteria, they all had their laptops open playing and me, I didn't have mine, which is really awkward. And they looked over at me like, where's your laptop? I told them that like I threw it in the river or something, or I don't know. I just said like it was broken or something because I'm not going to say I watched the Devil's Tango, like Wimpy Kid edition. I don't know what it was. Okay. I'm going to be honest. If you guys ask me what kind of Devil's Hub it was, like, I don't know. But no, seriously, I remember panicking, like freaking out like for like the whole week. And I remember my mom was for some reason in my room after school. And I walked in my room and I saw her opening my laptop and she was telling me how like she left like a file in there that she needed for work. And I remember telling her like, you do not want to open that. As she opens the laptop, I want to say like there was like 100 women moaning out of my computer. My mom was very worried and like freaking out because as she was like, you know, seeing under my like, you know, bed, she saw like a sock and like other things, you know, middle school stuff. Okay. It's middle school stuff. But no, she saw all that. And then she was like telling me like, oh, like, do you have like an addiction or something? And obviously, you know, it was very hard to like, you know, to explain to my mom how I got a virus from literally watching Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dog Days, not the other doggy stop. Never mind. Anyways, yeah. So overall, you know, meaning of the story, be careful what you watch on the internet. You don't want to get a virus. You don't want to be hacked. You don't want any of those because it won't help you in the old days. And other than that, follow for more embarrassing stories. Peace.